Hey, Baco Tunes podcast listeners. It's your host, Matt Munoz here. Welcome to an all-new, brand-new episode of the Baco Tunes podcast. I hope you've been enjoying all the classic episodes extracted from the Baco Tunes vault. But right now, I'm really excited to drop this latest episode with my guest, Monique Powell of Say Ferris. Yes, that's Say Ferris, who were introduced to the entire planet after releasing their Skaturday cover of Dexy's Midnight Runners 80s hit, Come On, Eileen. But that's just one part of a bigger story. Sprouting from the suburbs of Orange County, it didn't take long for Say Ferris to get swept up in the third wave ska craze alongside their hometown friends Real Big Fish and a host of other bands like Goldfinger and cavalcades of other ska punk bands. Yes, you remember it well. We go as far back as we can before hitting some serious business, along with tons of bright spots and, of course, lots of Monique Powell storytelling and history, classic Say Ferris music, and yes, some new music, which I will be dropping in somewhere in the episode, so you gotta listen to the whole thing so you don't miss it. It's a really good song and perfect for summer skanking in the sun. On that note, let's get to it. Here's Monique Powell of Say Ferris here on the Baco Tunes podcast.
I'm bored! Could be Daddy old red lions tonight, pulling. Punks don't go out pulling, they go to fucking boring gigs like this. That's what it's all about.
I ain't gonna be a punk no more.
What are you gonna be then, Clive? A skinhead?
I'm gonna be a rude boy. Like my dad.
Here it is, the Baco Tunes podcast with Matt Munoz. Audio brought to you by Chain Cone Clark.
Hello.
Hello, Monique.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Very good, very good. Before we get started, I'll just kind of give you a little preface this with, I also come from the ska scene, from the 90s ska scene, and so
Who's your band?
Mento Buru, we're here from Bakersfield. We were on Moon Ska. So we were on Moon Ska.
Oh my God, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we're cut from the same vine. So I want you to know, like, been a fan for a long time. I mean, obviously, we'd go to places and one of our friends would play our song, but then it would play Come On, Eileen, and like the whole place would light up. So it's like, of course, you know, it's good it was great. The 90s were great, right? I mean, we had a blast.
Yeah, we did have a good time.
Yeah.
We really did. Mm-hmm. And that's really nice of you to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, I'll just kick into this. And I kind of jump around a little bit, you know, some stuff I know, stuff I've been curious about and everything like that. But, you know, as I said, I'm over here in the Central Valley, right here in Bakersfield. But, you know, this is all about you because I followed the kind of adventures and the journeys of Say Ferris all these years from back then to the present. And you're obviously you're the heart and soul of the band. You know, when I see Say Ferris, I see Monique Powell. And you're also the sole original member of Say Ferris since the beginning. It was hard for me to pick a starting point, but I'm just kind of bounce around and see where we land. And I want to start with Orange County because you say our band is from Orange County. And when I think about Orange County in the 90s, specifically 95, you know, it was that fertile ground for ska and punk, and it was something bands would always just use when they, you know, when asked about their location. So if you said, well, where are you from? Well, we're from Orange County. And so everybody just assumed, a lot of people, if you weren't from Orange County, you just assumed that was a city. Oh, we're from Orange County, but that's not true. I mean, it's county.
No.
So,
yeah.
You know, had a lot of buzz to it, but where exactly in Orange County is Say Ferris from?
Well, I grew up in Garden Grove, and some of the guys that were in the band in the 90s were from Anaheim. And yeah, we were, for the most part, from all over.
So it's just easier to say we're from Orange County because nobody is ever from the same place.
No, and the cities are small here. They're small, you know.
Take me into a little of that life as far as proximity to the other cities within the county. Does every city within that county have its own distinct personality? You said Garden Grove, and they're from here, they're from there. Is everybody different?
Well, yeah, I mean, different parts of Orange County are different socioeconomic foundations or socioeconomic backgrounds, and I grew up just basic middle class. you know?
Yeah.
I'm not originally from Orange County, but I did grow up here. And
Where are you originally from?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. What part of LA?
Yeah. So Pico Robertson area, around there.
From the hood? From the barrio?
No, I mean, back then
I mean,
it
like
was
I said,
kind of
I don't know. I don't
the
know.
hood. It was kind of the hood back then, but it's much nicer now. And then I lived in Hollywood for 27 years. 25 years. I lived in Birmingham, England for 2.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just moved back. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so we've been traveling around. Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying, the band and you specifically, and we'll get to that. We'll get to kind of like, because there's like a gap of where nothing was happening, and that's what I was kind of curious about, what brought the band back. But I do love the origins of how everything was like, especially Orange County in the 90s. I mean, it was like 80s because you got the punk history there, and then ska punk, and then it was like the Seattle.
On this land, Indians lived in unchanging patterns for 5,000 years. Gaspar de Portola, envoy of the King of Spain, entered the area with a party of soldiers and priests in 1769. While passing through what is now Orange County, they gave names to the important landmarks: Trabuco Mesa, Santiago Creek, the Santa Ana Mountains. Portola's expedition was the prelude to change.
I don't know if a lot of musicians moved to Orange County to kind of start their bands there because they thought, well, if we move to the Orange County area, there's a chance that we're going to get signed. Like a lot of musicians did. They moved their bands to Seattle during the whole grunge thing, thinking all the labels.
I don't think a lot of musicians moved to Orange County. I mean, Orange County is like, there's a reason why they call it living behind the orange curtain. It's not an environment that's conducive to, it doesn't necessarily nurture the liberal lifestyles of most creative people. It didn't, at least in the 90s and prior to that. I know because my sister graduated 10 years before me in the 80s, so she was like kind of a big part of the punk and ska scene in the 80s here in Orange County. Then I know that it wasn't easy for her, and it wasn't easy for me, really feeling like I had a place here. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of musicians moved here to say they were from Orange County, because like saying you're from here is one thing, but actually being from here is a whole different ball game.
Yeah. I needed to get that insight from somebody who lives there, because it's like I said, a lot of people say they're from Orange County, and then there's kind of, I guess I think it would add some value to it for people on the outside looking in, but for people in the inside looking out, they're like, well, we say that because we live here, but that's as far as it goes. But, but let me ask you this. Okay. So prior to say Ferris, I mean, was there just like ska punk madness everywhere around that time? I mean, it was just like ska punk bands popping all over the place. Like as far as like the underground, all ages scene, what was it like?
Well, prior to say Ferris, yeah, there was a huge all ages scene. And that's how I got into bands. Was I was studying opera at Cal State Fullerton. And all my friends were like in bands. They're either ska bands or just bands. They were like, why don't you sing in my band? My friend from this band, Suburban Rhythm, started another band called Larry, and was like, why don't you sing in Larry? And I was like, well, that would make sense. I go to all the shows. Like I go to all the ska shows. I go to all the punk shows. I'm like, so I was already sort of engaged in the scene, and so it just made sense.
So wait, let me ask you this about Cal State Fullerton. So you were pursuing music, voice?
Yeah, I'm a classically trained singer. I started studying opera at the age of 11.
Wow.
And then I went to Performing Arts High School. I was accepted on audition to Performing Arts High School in Orange County, and then study musical theater there while I still study classically privately. And then I studied music performance at Cal State Fullerton, which is basically opera.
That's yeah. Well, your voice is very strong. I could see it. It makes sense now. And
Thank you.
I've asked a lot of other vocalists that, may sing in alternative rock bands or, different types of cover bands, club bands, whatever, you can hear it in them, that they have maybe some classical influence. And then you talk to them a little bit more and they're like, well, I'm still in college right now and I'm still like fully immersed in like classical. So, but like one of the things, when you start singing like ska and alternative like stuff like that, was there any pushback from the people around you that were kind of also following that same kind of educational road, music study, like, you need to stick to this because this is a little bit more refined and you don't want to ruin your voice? Did you have a lot of that coming around you?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It just wasn't something that I would talk to my voice teacher about, It's just not, it just wasn't. And then eventually, I just left Cal State Fullerton without graduating so that I could pursue being in bands because I really enjoyed that. I never really fit into that scene, the classical scene, and being at Cal State Fullerton. Like I fit in because I loved the music and I loved the study, but when I went to Cal State Fullerton, I was just, the youngest person there by some years. I was 17 when I started going to college there. And, it was just a different scene.
You got bit by the band bug.
I did. Well, I was already going to shows,
Yeah.
Like I went to high school with the guys in Real Big Fish.
Oh, yeah.
I saw one of their first shows ever. So it's like I had been going to shows for a long time at that point. Not a long time, but for a while at that point. And I just didn't dress the part. I didn't look the part. I didn't act the part. And it was very like distressing to my classical voice teachers. Just like, why can't you dress right for the audition? Why can't you just act right for the audition? And I just couldn't. I was incapable. I didn't know how.
Yeah. Well, okay. So a little fast forward. Thank you so much for sharing that because it makes a lot of sense now. I love hearing this type of history because same thing as you, I was a music major, was deep into jazz, but then once you form your first band and you start kind of having a little bit more fun, you kind of get sick of going to college. I eventually went back to finish, but you just want to be out there gigging. And, I'm sure like we're talking about Orange County, you got your friends in Real Big Fish. They got a band that's having a lot of fun. People come out to see them. You're out there in the crowd. What's the condensed version of how the original members of Say Ferris found themselves?
Some of the guys from the original Say Ferris were in another band that was opening for my band Larry. By that point, by like 95, I was pretty well connected in the scene. I knew a lot of people. Yeah, so they wanted to start a new band. The ex-members wanted to start a new band, and
was everybody into it, or did you? I mean, I'm sure that there's tons of young musicians. You're all about the same age. Everybody's kind of developing what they really like, and this is what I want to do. But I mean, was it easy for you guys to come together and decide, well, this is kind of like the first incarnation of the band and it's going to stick? Like you guys were all into the ska thing, or was it seeing what you were happening outside that really made you decide, well, let's just find guys and gals that could potentially come together and have a similar type of vibe?
It was easy for me because I knew that, because the deal was that, if I was going to join the band, I was going to manage the band. They had a couple songs that were whatever. So the other agreement was that I would have to co-write any new songs.
Were you always the primary songwriter or the lyricist or both?
No. Brian Mashburn assumed that role. So I just knew okay, so here's a band. I really want to be in a ska band. I had been in a traditional all-girl ska band previously. I really enjoyed doing that. I really wanted to be in a third wave ska band. And so I thought, okay, well, we can make this work. And we did.
Yeah, did you like the more upbeat stuff? Like you're talking about the third wave as opposed to traditional. Were you more into that leans a little bit more towards punk?
In those days, I was more into the punk side of it. Yeah.
I mean, because the ska scenes, as we both know, there's a little bit of a cliquishness as to like, well, what type of ska? So you say, well, we play ska, but then it's just like, all right, what type? Ska punk, traditional, the whole skinhead thing, whatever. And when I think of, say, Ferris, I think of like, this is one of the definitive third wave ska bands from that era.
Yeah, well, it's weird because when people say that they play traditional ska, it's like, well, traditional ska is Jamaican ska. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the times they end up sounding more like second wave, like specials.
Two-tone stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like two-tone.
This is Skaturday. We're talking a lot about the music known as ska, which seems to be just so big now. Now, the second wave of ska really started in about the late 70s, early 80s, when bands like the Specials and the English Beat were blowing up in the UK. Now, over here in the States, there's bands like the Toasters that really put ska music on the map, especially in the East Coast, like the New York City area. More of MTV Skaturday when we return.
Which is super cool. Like, I love that stuff. I love all ska. I love all the waves of the ska.
Yeah. I mean, cool music is cool music. You guys are young.
But I have a particular affinity for the second wave, the 80s stuff, because that's what I grew up on.
Same here. All that stuff. Yeah.
Save Ferris. Save Ferris. Save Ferris Bueller. Save Ferris. Save Ferris?
What?
Well, see, we're collecting money to buy Ferris Bueller a new kidney. They run about 50 G's or so, so if you could help out.
Go piss up a flagpole.
I'm sorry?
You should be.
Hey! What if you need a favor someday from Ferris Bueller? Then where'll you be, huh? You heartless wench!
And who came up with the name? Save Ferris. Yeah. It just happened?
Just happened.
I mean, it's a cool name, and they're talking about the 80s. I mean, you can't get any more 80s than Save Ferris, the Save Ferris reference.
Yeah, we just like John Hughes films a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Back then when you guys are starting out, I mean, you kind of answered the question, but was it, was the band always was it like a democracy amongst you all, or was there an assigned leader, and was it kind of out of necessity? Like you said, I kind of had to take on a little bit more of the leadership role because things might not have gotten done properly, No,
I mean, everybody had their own place in the band. Everybody had their own role, and every role was important.
You can't talk about Orange County, of course, without No Doubt. And I would take, my friends and I would take like these pilgrimages we'd go to like the country club in Reseda, and we'd go to Hollywood or something to find out about these bands. And of course, this is in a pre-internet era, so you kind of had to, if you picked up an LA Weekly, you brought it home. It took us, 90 minutes to get back to Bakersfield and find out when these bands are going to play, and I think of course, No Doubt is always associated with the whole Orange County thing. Did you have any interaction with them during those early years? I mean, either prior to Save Ferris or during the Save Ferris years, the early years?
No, they had already been a band for 10 years before Save Ferris even formed. So they were light years ahead of us when it came to all of it, like the success of their band, where they were at professionally, and also they were in a different age group. So we didn't get to play. We finally played with Gwen. She had us open 3 shows for her at the closing of Irvine Meadows a couple years ago.
That's right. I saw that. How was that?
Yeah, but we've never, I don't know. I can't say never, but I cannot recall ever playing with No Doubt. We were never asked. That was just a weird thing. Like, I don't know, like girls, we were told like we can't have 2 women on one bill. And in the 90s, it was a really fucked up, obscure time for women in the 90s. It was really fucking lame. So we got a lot of that.
What are your memories of doing a lot of those kind of like 15 band ska shows? Because I know our bands did them all the time in Hollywood. Montebello, we did the ska parade shows, all that stuff. It's just like there's like 15 ska bands. Like, what do you remember from that time period?
I don't really remember playing a lot of like all ska festivals in those days.
Really?
To be honest. Not until like I took the name over in like 2001 when we played Viva Ska Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2001 or 2003. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't really recall there being like big ska festivals. I mean, I know that like,
or like those indie shows, like somebody would say, oh, we're going to go play at the barn or something like that. And like, there's like 10 bands. They're not even fests. They're just like, that's just what they always did. It's just like, every ska band in town was going to be there.
I don't remember that. But I remember like touring with the Aquabats and Real Big Fish and Goldfinger as like a package deal with Save Ferris, and that was pretty cool.
And what
we did some touring together.
You guys are playing, you guys are around creating a buzz. At what point did you know, we might be onto something here, and that there might be a chance that you might get signed? Because all of a sudden it's just like boom, like I said, us over here in the Central Valley, every once in a while we would just kind of discover bands. Like we discover Come On Eileen just dropped on the radio. Somehow it finds its way either through radio, through college radio, or MTV or whatever. I can't even remember. But, you guys are out there gigging. At what point did you think, hey, man, we might be onto something here? I
mean, we were selling a lot of CDs. The EP that we put out, introducing Save Ferris, the 5-song EP that we put out, we were selling a lot of those out of the trunk of our cars, basically. But that didn't give me an indication. What gave me the indication was when Rodney Bingenheimer started playing us on K-Rock, like rather regularly. And I was like, wow, this is really fucking cool. Like I remember listening to this dude's show when I was 8 years old with my sister, So at that point, like hearing us on K-Rock was huge, and we weren't signed yet. So that was when I was like, okay, now it's going to happen.
Break time. We'll be back. It's the Baco Tunes podcast with Matt Munoz.
If you're injured in an accident, you need a team who knows the law, a team respected by our community and the legal industry, a team with a winning history in Kern County and beyond. Chain Cone Clark, the team you need when it matters most.
Today, we brought in our favorite teens to react to ska music.
To what?
Do we know what that is?
No.
Oh, okay.
It involves a lot of trumpet and other brass instruments.
Wow.
Ooh, this song will never, ever, 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 ever not remind me of Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Never saw it.
You need to watch it now. Like, get out of here and watch it.
Have you guys seen, like, Perks of Being a Wallflower?
No.
A lot of ska bands did covers. Save Ferris, which is this band. Save Ferris was obviously named after
Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
Obviously.
Why do you think so many ska bands were formed in Southern California?
A lot of skater culture, a lot of chill vibes, fun in the sun.
Because we're just cool. mean everything to me. All to me. Whoa, Eileen, you mean everything.
Did you ever go on a show for an interview?
Rodney?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so how did he get the demo? I mean, there are ways to get the demo. Did you send it to him, and how did he get it? The EP.
I don't know who sent it to him. It might have been me. I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. And who brought "Come On, Eileen" to the band to say, "Hey, let's"?
I did.
Yeah. Was it like one of your favorite songs growing up?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite videos on MTV.
When it comes to arranging, like you're going to take the song "Come On, Eileen," it kind of has the skeleton of the song you can kind of follow. But who arranges the tunes? Who's got it up?
I think it was mostly the band together.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is kind of just musician. What happened first? Did you perform it live, or was it like a studio project? We're going to do "Come On, Eileen," or did you just rehearse it, play it live, and then?
No, we played it live.
Yeah.
We played it live for a while before we recorded it, I think.
"Come On, Eileen" blows up everywhere as one of the kind of defining songs of the third wave ska movement. I mean, what are some other memories from that period? All of a sudden, you guys are everywhere. Boom. I'm telling you. All the radio stations up and down the Central Valley and, of course, Southern California. You're everywhere. What are some, maybe some of your favorite moments from that period?
Oh, so much of it was all very exciting. Touring Europe for the first time, going to Japan for the first time, going to Indonesia for the first time. A lot of my best memories have to do with the travel.
Play? Play? Riding high, I feel so very free. I'm so happy, I know I could fly. Freedom's fun, it's made for you and me. Happy, gliding, smiling, flying high. Jet feel high rider.
Honda HR3.
Debut. If you make it feel like flying, then you know.
When the song came out and it blows up, when you're talking about traveling to those distant places, what was the time period? Was this like a year, a couple years?
We got signed. So we had been together maybe a year as a band, and things started picking up. And then we got signed, I don't know, maybe 6 months after, like a year, and maybe less than 2 years we had been a band. Yeah, we got signed. They put us right out on the road. Like, here's a bus. We're like, what? Because we've been touring in a van.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, what? That was really cool. So the label just threw us out there, and that's where we stayed for 4 years.
When I talk to bands now that are getting signed, I mean, it was obviously it was a different time period as far as like band budgets and everything like that. But was a band like, say, Ferris, were you guys taken care of as far as, to be able to go tour extensively, or was there some money in the bank?
We were definitely taken care.
Nice.
No, the label took care of us, but that's all recoupable money. So nobody really told us about that part of it when we signed that 200-page contract at 19 years old. We're like, hell yeah. We're like, hell yeah. We're rich, but we never saw any of it. It all went into touring and videos and recording and stuff like that. I didn't see any of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, look at moving forward a bit, the ska pop movement, it comes to its fork in the road as far as like with MTV and all that stuff. And a lot of bands either kind of sink or swim as tastes and lives change. What happens within the band to go on hiatus? Because like I said, there's just kind of like it ends and then you come back. I don't want to ask too many questions about it, but it was like a bad breakup that you guys are going to part ways, or at the time of the first time you guys decide, hey, we're just going to take a break. Was it just a mutual thing?
No, it was not mutual. I actually ended up taking the name and continuing with the band after some members decided to leave. They just didn't want to do it anymore. And I don't know what their reasoning was, and it hurt a lot. And it was sad because we had a record that we could have released independently because we had been dropped from our label at that point. Epic got a new president and decided to clean house and let us go. And we were like, what? We were like right in the middle of an album cycle. And I think that was disheartening for some of the guys, And I really begged them to stay in a lot of ways. I really tried to plead my case, like, don't do this. Like, we can continue on, but they didn't want to. So I continued on without them for a little while. And then my health was just bad. Like, my mental state was bad. My physical health was bad. And I had to stop for a while. I just spent like 6 years feeling like very abused, just very abused and very like not supported, you know. And my mental state was not good. So at that point I was like, all right, I'm going to hang up my hat on touring, but I'll continue singing on people's records, which is what I did for the next 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, I became like a studio singer.
Oh, you got the pipes for it. You can do a lot of stuff. So what were some of the projects that you worked on?
I sang on some used records, some Hillary Duff stuff. I did a lot of like ghosting, where I signed a lot of non-disclosure agreements where I did singing for other singers that couldn't sing very well.
Wow. But that's cool.
Which was great. I really loved that. I thought that was really fun. I got to meet these great girls who were, you know, successful or at the beginning of their careers or whatever, or already established. And I got to try and mimic the way they sang, and then they would just mush our voices together. It was really cool.
Nice.
Kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, it did a lot
So I did a lot of that.
Did a lot of the singers, did they know Come On Eileen? You know, did they know who you were? And
yeah, a lot of them did. Yeah. It was cute.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So you
I think that classical training really helped me a lot.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, it's a story that I've heard before, and that's great that you know, because like I said, if I was to just go, if I didn't know you and I just said, well, I'm going to kind of do my research without going into deep diving into too many YouTube interviews of like what has happened with, say, Ferris, if you go onto the Wikipedia and then you look at like whoever runs it and you look at like the history of the members, then there's like this big gap of nothing. I do remember when it was like, say, Ferris returns and it was you. And then, of course, that was kind of like the public thing. And, you know, because I followed your socials and we're like, this is cool. Oh, yeah, wow, say Ferris is playing again. Boom, 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 boom. And kind of, you kind of see a little bit of the drama, you know, kind of plays out on social media and all that stuff, which, you know, that's just kind of what happens these days. But when you came back to the stage as, say, Ferris, you know, what was the response and how did it make you feel?
Well, 2013 was like pre-Me Too. So I think a lot of guys thought that it was permissible for them to mistreat women. And so by me attempting to bring the band back, and then there was a lot of like disinformation put out there. I think that there was, you know, there were some people behind it. So they had, you know, this sort of disinformation campaign going on for whatever reason. I don't know what their reasoning was, but they did. And it didn't really matter, you know, like the name's mine and I'm sole owner, and Say Ferris is doing just as good as we did in the 90s, you know, if not better, because we're operating without a deficit at this point. So,
well, I see the tour listing. When I got the email from Mike at Earshot, I've known Mike for a while now because he's done some work with my band too. But I saw that the tour, I mean, you guys are booked for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You know, besides playing live, is there any new music or releases in the queue? I mean, is there any Monique Powell music, you know, coming out, or? You know, how deep are you into it as far as like the songwriting and the recording part of this?
Well, I'm pretty deep into the Say Ferris part of it. The Monique Powell stuff will come when it comes, you know. It's like I have lots of recording and songs already recorded for a Monique Powell record, but when the time is right, and if it's meant to be, then it'll happen. But if it's not meant to be, that's okay too. I mean, I'm perfectly happy managing this band and watching it thrive and grow. And it's been hard, but it's been totally worth it.
Oh, I bet. Well, I mean, the songs are great. I've always, like I said, I mean, it fell.
And we have a new single coming out on Friday. I don't know if Mike told you that.
Oh, no.
Get Dancing.
Oh.
Yeah. And the video and the single drops on Friday.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Okay, I'll put that
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
And I'll drop it into the episode for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is great, and you tapped into something. It could be an entirely other conversation, something a little bit more serious. You're talking about the pre-Me Too movement, because I did see a lot of that. You see a lot of that stuff happening, and, you have Monique Powell, you become an inspiration, and a role model for young women who've jumped into the scene. You're going to be referenced, you, Gwen Stefani, some of the other, females that were in hardcore punk, everything like that. You're kind of in that. If you put you all up there, you're going to be part of that group. Like, man, I remember the 90s when it was the 90s, and the 90s were like, I had this conversation with people. I said, I'm a man, but I'm sure it was different for women. But like, if you were a fan, and the 90s were so big for women-fronted bands or women bands, and then there was a gap where it didn't happen anymore. But I mean, if you think about the 90s, you did like a collage. There's going to be a picture of you on that collage. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
seriously.
it was hard. It was such a different time, and coming back 10 years later, I really, like, after like all the abuse that was like thrust upon me in 2013, I thought for sure this is really gonna fucking suck. But it didn't. Like, women were supporting each other in a big way, and it was no longer like in the 90s it was like, don't speak up about the abuse, don't bring too much attention to that, or you could be canceled, basically. And I know a lot of women from that time who were afraid of that, being written off as crazy. That was the big thing. Like, any woman who sort of spoke out against her abusers were written off as crazy. And then that was, pretty much an end to their careers. And so we were just in this stronghold of silence. And it was really hard for me as a young woman, a very young woman, to fit into that mold. I was not comfortable being in that mold. I was not comfortable being silenced. And I was not comfortable conforming in that way. But I did it because I love our fans and I love to entertain. And that is my purpose and my meaning in this life. And so I was willing to sacrifice me in order to be able to provide that, And that was the reason why I took the 10 years off. It was because I had sacrificed so much of me that I had nothing left.
Yeah. But you feel like you're at a really good place now for this, to keep on going?
I do. I think that, like, all the abuse, all of it, was actually a gift, because it gave me strength and resolve that I always wanted, but I just couldn't figure out how to be that person. I couldn't figure out how to be that strong person. Well, all the challenges that came as a result of this band, all of the abuse, all of the fighting, all of it, made me better, like made me a better businesswoman, made me understand what my values and my priorities are, the fans, my musicians, my health, my mental health, my physical health, and also just understanding that this is meant to be enjoyed, that this is a gift. And so when you do that, it makes it easy to manage the band because you have a goal. And it's a really good one. It's a really good goal. I think of all the fans and their little faces, and I think of my band and their little faces, and it just makes me want to do whatever it takes to make this work.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Sorry you had to go through all that, but sadly it's one of those things. Well, it's not a shocking thing to hear, because you hear a lot of these stories, and you're just like, oh man, Monique Powell too. It's like, it's sad that, women in music have to go through this, women in general, women in any occupation have to go through stuff like this. But
I'm just glad that I'm
Yeah.
able to talk about it now. I think that being open and feeling supported in talking about it is very therapeutic for me. And so, when people ask me in the past, when they would ask me about it, I would, it was all sunshine and roses and everything was perfect because I just wasn't ready to talk about it. But, now I'm like almost 50 years old. Like I'm a grown up lady and I I'm okay. I'm like, I want to talk about it now. I don't ever want it to be like that again for women ever in this industry, ever in any industry, but particularly in an industry that's so beautiful. It's like based on music, it's based on bringing people together, not dividing us.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, yeah, right? Like music can do so much. Music moves mountains, it heals souls. And so, I know it's healing mine now, and so I just want to use it for good. I want to use it for good.
Yes, yes. Well, I wish you all continued success in this kind of, this, I don't know, how would you call it? This is your third bow, second round, third round, whatever you want to call it. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. You and I are sharing those kind of age range and kind of the travels, but obviously, like I said, our careers went different paths, and you always want to hear more of the fun parts, but I didn't walk in your shoes. So what we see is we just see the MTV. We see all like, oh man, I wish I was in Save Ferris and doing all that stuff. But like when you hear it, you're like, it wasn't all that fun, but I guess it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong. Like we were a bunch of kids with, this unlimited amount of funds and thrown out on the road with a record label, with a record deal. And like, there was so much fun in it, and there are still happy, joyous memories of that time. Unfortunately, what was underneath it all was not based on a foundation that was conducive to the growth of me as a woman, And so, yeah, like it's awesome. But, if you want to experience joy, come to a Save Ferris show. You want to experience joy, interviews for me are more about talking about my truth and the reality of, the history of this band. And it is unfortunately marked with, some stuff that is not so happy, but that gives me even more reason to celebrate now.
Yeah.
Because now I know like what it needs to be. It needs to be joyous, and it needs to be based on a foundation of like compassion and love. And I know that sounds cheesy, but
no, it's not.
But that just changed everything for me. It changed my show. It changed my goals for this band, and it changed the direction of this band, and it allowed this band to grow in a way that like it's never had this type of growth before. So it is all great. It's all good. All of it is good. Everything that happened, bad, good, ugly, indifferent, the journey. Yeah. It was all for the purpose of what we're doing now. It's all for today. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. And in the end, what matters is how you come out of it. And I could hear in your voice that you came out of the bad stuff. And you're flying. You're flying again. This is awesome. I love this.
Oh, thank you.
This is what I wanted to hear.
That's very kind.
This is what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. And it's about inclusion and acceptance and everybody feeling welcome. And so I try to the best of my ability. Listen, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of things wrong. I made a lot of decisions out of fear. And when you do that, you're almost always bound to mess up. And but now I'm trying to make good on that by just creating an environment with Save Ferris that is beautiful.
And the whole team is on board. The whole band, everybody.
Oh my God, I have more like love and support than I've ever had. right now. It's like I'm almost scared to talk about it because I don't want to. I want to jinx it.
I feel you. Everybody
But
out
no.
there, everybody out there listening, when the episode drops, everybody out there listening, go see Say Ferris. Just go out there and skank and do a little bit of nostalgia and dig and support the new music out there. You know, support Monique and the entire band, right?
Hey, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I expect to see you at a show too.
Yeah.
Mister.
No, yeah. I was looking at the list. I was like, dang, they're super busy. I love this. I love this tour schedule.
I
And,
expect to see you at a
yeah.
show. You better get in touch with Mike, and so we can get you on the list.
Yes. And I'll let him
Yeah, I
know.
wanna see you there.
Yeah, I'll let him know when the episode drops, and I hope you dig it, because I kind of like drop in some music and I do a little intro, outro about how I discovered you. So I always take care of my guests, and I've been waiting. When I found out that I could interview you, I said I have to interview Monique Powell. I go, we're cut from the ska scene, but I go, I've been
bless
following
your
them all
heart.
these years, and I that's the thing, is like you see the way things play out on social media, but you got to talk to the person to find out what's going on. And, the drama stuff, like, I mean, it's not part of my life, but the thing about it is it's like you continued on. So I already knew. I said, Monique is the heart and soul of Say Ferris, not just because when you look at the photos and you see the videos and you hear her voice, you just automatically think that. I knew that. I was like, I just have this feeling. I go, Monique has always been the heart and soul. And then when you told me about your classical training background, everything like that, I said, you know what? Are you a Virgo by chance?
Coincidentally, I'm a Leo Virgo.
Oh,
I'm on the cusp.
That's why.
That's pretty amazing that you asked. I love Virgos. My dad was a Virgo. I love my Virgos.
So am I.
Yeah.
You
I love them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, Monique, thank you. Thank you so
guess.
much. Yeah, I had that feeling.
This show sounds really cool. I'm going to have to go and listen to your other stuff.
Yeah,
Sounds amazing. Like, you really know what you're doing. You're really good at this. And, like you say, I'm the heart and soul. I'm just telling you, like, the proof is in the pudding. For me, it was important that the people who wanted to hear this band got this band. And there were people who really wanted to stop it from happening. And again, like, my focus became the fans. And I feel like with you, with your show, there's so much heart and soul in it, in your show, in the way that you interview people. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing the other stuff that you've done, and your other interviews.
Thanks.
Totally sounds like it's in my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
And like, I can tell that you're someone who, has similar values when it comes to our work and how we conduct ourselves and how we do it. So, so it's really been really cool talking to you. What a
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, likewise, an honor, and been a fan for a long time. And I just, it warms my heart to hear that you're continuing on, and just, you rose to the top. Cream always rises to the top, as they say. So this
Bless
is wonderful.
your heart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Monique. Well, continued success. I know. Did you have rehearsal earlier today?
I did.
Oh, wow.
I
You gotta
just
rest.
got back. Like,
rest
oh my
your
God.
Thank you.
No. Now I'm just in editing hell, because I'm finishing up the editing of this video with my boyfriend's a director, so he filmed the video, and so we're editing it together.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, and have a wonderful evening. And once again, thanks so much for your time. We'll hopefully see you and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You got
Have
it.
a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to my sister in ska, Monique Powell of Say Ferris, for being on Baco Tunes. I hope you all enjoyed our chat and ska trips back in time. Don't forget to support women in the arts and be respectful. We love you all. As promised, here's the brand spanking new song from Say Ferris, Get Dancing. That also comes with a cool music video available online right now. Follow the band on their socials and pack out their live shows. Thanks for listening.
Rudies get down when the going get tough. We don't give up even when it's rough. I call my friends on the telephone. Get dressed up 'cause tonight it's on. Get dancing, get
The Baco Tunes podcast with Matt Munoz. New episodes every week. And for the latest, be sure to follow us at Baco Tunes on Instagram. That's BAKOTUNES. And be sure to like us, rate us, comment at us, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next time.